Good day, grade 11 parents and boys, and welcome to this online parents' evening. I hope it'll be a really productive time as you discuss the progress of the boys with the staff. While we talk of the staff, I need you boys to know that you are missed. It's the topic that comes up frequently in our online meetings as we prepare our lessons and discuss our way forward, how much we miss the boys. Most of the staff at this college, if not all of them, I would say all, got into education because we have a passion for working with young people and growing men from boys. I really hope this will be a productive time for you. Know that your staff are just an email away or a WhatsApp away, and thank goodness for Google Hangout and Meet. It means that we do still have some personal contact. I wish you well for tonight. Gents, I must also encourage you in terms of your leadership space that right now you're in a unique position. The grades that have gone before you did not have the massive digital platform that you've got to promote yourself and to apply for the various portfolios that you want to be involved in. Pick a portfolio that appeals to you in terms of your interests and where you can do a good job, not so much for a position that might reflect well on you. Do the job for the sake of doing the job. I also would like to encourage you to seize the opportunity of working hard at your academics. Mrs. Frankiskos will talk to that shortly. But you know this is a critical year in terms of your varsity application, so make use of all the resources available to you. Your teachers, as I've said, are just a short call away. We're here for you even in the online situation, and it's something that we all have been able to adapt to. It's been a hard period where we've had to adapt quite quickly, but I must say it's been very rewarding in that you guys are now well equipped to learn, often on your own. And the skills that you're getting from your teachers are ones that release you to be independent. And I really think that's really, really important. So grab the opportunity and run with it. I know that at the college we often talk about resilience and adaptability. And maybe that gives you memories of your Siawela trek last year. Maybe it is coming through. And all those skills that we've been speaking about are now being put into practice. I think it's fantastic. So run with it, but call for help if you need to. Finally, before I say goodbye, your leadership experience at the end of term 2 will still take place. We're hoping it'll be a real, practical, in-person experience where we can talk about positive masculinity, your role as a man, personal ethics, and the things that go into growing men in our society. If, of course, we are still unable to meet in person, we'll do an online webinar with a couple of really knowledgeable people, experienced people who've got awesome stories to tell. And I hope that you will get a lot out of it, but more details closer to the time. And I'd like to hand over to Mrs. Frankiskos and then to the headmaster. Have a great day further. God bless.
Good evening, grade 11 parents and grade 11 boys. Thank you very much for taking the time to watch this video, which takes the place of our meeting in the chapel. I do hope that you've had a number of successful interviews with teachers this afternoon. I hope that the system ran smoothly. It is definitely a first time for all of us, and so I really am hoping that it all went smoothly. If it didn't, please would you let me know what went wrong. I would really like to avoid any other crises in grade 8, grade 12 and grade 10 meetings which are due to take place. But also if you didn't get enough time or you didn't have the opportunity to book, please will you make sure that you get hold of the teachers, that you email them, and I'm very certain that they will make time for you on a WhatsApp call, a WhatsApp video or a Google Meet. It is really imperative that we communicate with each other as much as possible during this time of COVID-19 and that there is not any unnecessary negative impact on your boys' academic performance this year. I'm almost certain that Mr. Jonson would have spoken to you about the leadership and the other events that are due to take place during this year, and that he would also have mentioned the importance of the grade 11 year in terms of academics. Obviously, I'm not certain as to what the universities are going to require going forward or what the year might look like in 18 months' time. But I do know that the grade 11 results are really important this year and every other year. So what I would like you gentlemen to do is to please have a look at your results and your report from first term, and to have a look at the websites of the universities that you might be wanting to attend and the courses that you have your mind set on. To have a look at how are you on track? Are you managing to get the right percentages and averages that are required? Are you getting the right APS score, which is the admission point score? And just how ready are you, and are you on the right course for what you want to be doing in 18 months' time? In terms of university application, we know that at the moment the universities use grade 11 results to gain admission into university, and this is a conditional acceptance. And then the next time that you use your results is at the end of grade 12. UCT do use the first term's results from grade 12, however they are unique in that. During your course of grade 12, you also will be writing a set of exams called the NBTs, which is the National Benchmark Tests, and those are also used to gauge whether you are ready for the courses for which you have applied. So gentlemen, it's not too early. Start looking at what courses you would like to be doing, where you would like to be studying, and what the requirements are for those courses. What I would also like to point out is that obviously at this point in time, grade 11, term 2, this is really, I would say, the last time at which you should be looking at changing any subjects. Obviously, there are a number of things that we would need to take into consideration. We need to have a look at the government ruling that says that if you wanted to change, for example, to mathematical literacy, and you were still carrying something like a physical sciences, you would not be able to do that. So if you are in that kind of a set of circumstances, please get in touch with me. Please get in touch with either Mr. Stork or Mr. Woodley in terms of your mathematics and the support that we can give you. But please remember that if you carry mathematics and physical sciences and you get marks under 40, it really doesn't help you in terms of gaining entry into university courses. So let's help you with that if you're a little bit confused in that area. Just one more thing from me before I sign out. What I would like to ask you gentlemen is, are you doing okay in terms of your physical fitness? Please make sure that you are exercising, make sure that you are continuing to help around the house, make sure that you're doing things like washing dishes, hanging out the washing, making your bed, sweeping, mowing the lawn, all those kind of things. Because really not only are they going to help out in the home, but it really does help you prepare for when you have to start independent living at university. It really is not going to be fun when you get there and you aren't able to make a meal or to do your own ironing. So this is a really good opportunity for you to develop those skills and to become self-sufficient. That's all from me. I do wish you a good evening, and I know that Mr. Toit is going to be chatting to you just after this. Good night.
Good evening, grade 11 boys and parents, and welcome to this online parent evening. Hopefully you've had really good meetings this afternoon with your teachers and you've been able to really engage. And I ask you please to give us feedback. You know, this is the first time we're doing this and we're excited about it, a little bit daunted as well, but really your feedback will be so helpful to us to learn, as Mrs. Frankiskos has said. And thank you to Mrs. Frankiskos and Mr. Jonson for their messages this evening as well. What I do know at the moment is that in all this time that we've got this turmoil around us, we all want to get this online learning 100% right. We would love to have it perfect. What does perfect look like? I'm not sure. But it's important that we know that every one of us wants what's best for the boys in the school, our staff, desperately so, you as parents, and boys, you yourself. So whatever we're doing, we're thinking about it, we're reading about it, we're doing research about it. If we make mistakes, please let us know, and we need to improve and get better at that. But this is the fastest learning curve that I've ever been on in my life. And I think we're all in that space right now. Parents, can I just say thank you for your participation in this process, and thank you for your support and your words of encouragement and acknowledgement, and certainly sometimes words of advice or questions that make us think further, and I appreciate that. And your PTA reps gave us some things to think about last week. I was in a meeting and they asked me about sort of common things that came up in the group, fees, And I've raised that in the campus exco meeting yesterday, and that communication needs to obviously come from the rector's office, and that needs to happen very soon. So thank you for raising that. You asked about preparation for the return to school, whatever that's going to look like. What does social distance look like in a school? How are we ensuring health and safety in the school? We're working incredibly hard and we've done a huge amount of research, and there's some really wonderful teams on the campus that are looking at that, and we'll be ready whenever the minister allows us to bring students back to school in a safe and healthy way. You also asked about curriculum monitoring. Absolutely, be monitoring that all the time. Our HODs are comfortable and confident that we will have our grade 11s and 12s ready, and that the current 11s will be ready for 12 next year. So at the moment, all going well. So thank you for asking those questions. And then there was a question about engagement. Should we be doing more online lessons, maybe even live streaming? And we made a choice not to do live streaming because of data issues. We were worried about power issues sort of in South Africa in terms of electricity that's down. And so we chose to not do live streaming of lessons, but we rather chose to do an asynchronous day where information is downloaded in the morning. It's available. The boys can access it at various times in the day. They have a little bit of flexibility in their day, but they have to obviously meet certain deadlines. At the same time, our teachers will be available for certain conversations in the day. So the videos should be explanatory, should be downloading information at various times. There should be really rich tasks that engage the boys and keep them occupied and learning. So a lot more responsibility on the students, and that's almost unavoidable at this time. And I see this massive shift happening in education, obviously, as we speak. So that was kind of the model. We really looked at various models around the world, and certainly between the Girls' College and ourselves and other schools that I'm engaged with all the time, that's pretty much the model that everyone's gone with. Maybe some are a little bit more teacher video, etc. And that was some feedback we got, and we're certainly looking to increase that. Also, the number of Google Meets, the tutorials, one-on-one discussions, certainly want to take away any stress from the students where we can. And then I just want to give a shout out to other staff for the incredible work that they've done. This is, as I said earlier on, a massive learning curve that we're on. Sort of relearning our skills, the way we think about a lesson, the way we engage with our students, the way we set a task so that the student is answering those questions and learning as they're answering it, rather than the teacher necessarily sharing the knowledge in a way that is the only way that learning is happening. And so we've really had to think deeply about all these different things. And I want to say thank you to the staff. They've been incredible. They've worked so hard. And I need you to know that the teaching day has become incredibly long now. You're online during the morning, on site, happy to connect with students and engage with them. But then in the afternoons, you're trying to give feedback and maybe mark. And then in the evening, you're setting your next set of tasks and shooting another video and whatever. It's a huge amount of work. It's certainly more than any of us have done before. And equally for the boys, obviously, as well. So I'm mindful of that. And so on the point of boys and parents, thank you, moms and dads, for your involvement and your support and encouraging your boy as he's having to learn. I think you're getting to know him differently as a young academic, and being able to support him as he's on this learning journey. I'm also mindful that you yourself are going through all sorts of turmoil, I'd imagine, as parents in any case. And so it's heck of a difficult, and thank you. Boys, you yourself, gee whiskers, I mean, you had to go on this incredible fast learning curve, and I'm very mindful of that. And some of you are thriving, some of you are doing okay, some of you are really struggling. I do ask you to please contact us, contact the school, you, your mom, your dad, contact your tutor, your house director, Mr. Tanma, Mrs. Frankiskos, whoever. If you are struggling, please talk to us. We really want to help you, and we'll do what we can to ensure that you're okay and that you're learning. But boys, I do want to acknowledge you and celebrate you for the work that you've been doing. It looks like you're doing really well, actually. And the question is, what motivates you? And you've got to find that drive, to work on your own, because that's pretty much what is expected. You're working on your own. Just getting rid of distractions, learning how to prioritize. And I guess the important thing that I would encourage you to do is ask the question, am I just wanting to get this task done, or do I want to do it brilliantly? Because a 2-hour session can be finished in 40 minutes if you just want to finish it, or you can use the full 2 hours if you really want to do it well and you want to come out of there having learned something and be feeling confident in the work that you've just done. So you need to ask yourself that question. As I wrap up, just also reminding you, please get out there and exercise. Do not forget that looking after your body is absolutely critical. Healthy body, healthy mind. We speak about this often, and also allows you to get rid of frustration and just clear the head a little bit, because especially when you're sitting at our desk all the time. So get out there. Even if you're not a regular exerciser, walking 4Ks, 5Ks is a wonderful way just to cleanse and to sort of clear your mind a little bit. Boys, also, the Leadership in Action is going to be happening. Please engage in that process. You are going to be running the school in a couple of months' time, and you need to then be ready to do so. And so leading in this time is unusual. We're learning all the time, and you only learn about leadership by doing it. So when you get invited to participate in these activities, please be part of that. Lastly, perhaps just wrapping up, is to say tomorrow is day 7. Day 7 is designed, moms and dads, designed for these boys and the staff and for you to have a bit of a break. It's not a heavy academic day. And we've learned that this process is exhausting for the boys and for the staff. And so after 6 days, we have a day where we catch our breath. There'll be chapel messages, maybe a tutor meeting. There'll be some life orientation. There might be a leadership in action activity, but it's not heavy academic work and assignments and projects, etc. It's also time for our senior boys to do a bit of academic catch-up and hand in assignments, maybe contact a teacher if you're stuck on something. But we do need you to be healthy mentally and physically. So we do need to look after that. And day 7 is deliberately designed as a space where we can just catch our breath a little bit. Not just to slough around and lie in your bed and watch Netflix, but it is a time when you can be engaged differently and not necessarily doing a subject on the day. Although, as I say, life orientation will be on that day. So I wish you guys well. Thank you. We are learning together. Every week we have meetings in which we sort of saying, well, what else could we do? How could we improve this? We've got a professional development session tomorrow on day 7 where we're going to be sharing surveys with our staff. We've listened to the surveys from parents and boys, and we really want to make sure that our learning program is rich and exciting and ensures that brilliant learning is happening for each boy. Thank you for attending this evening, and I wish you well. Please take care and stay healthy. I wish you Godspeed.